Thank you. A slight warning, if you didn't use the bathroom before this talk, you're definitely going to have to after. Sit tight, bear with us.
Okay. Does this TEDx talk also serve as a laxative or something?
Okay, now raise your hand if you've ever had to pull down your pants and expose your butt in order to answer nature's call and pee outside.
So, this video is about women urinating? I thought that sort of thing was isolated to the more specialized corners of Pornhub.
Exactly. It's been part of spending time in the outdoors for generations, and it's a particular problem for women because we have to pull our pants down in order to pee.
So, wear skirts?
I realized the serious disadvantage I and we as women face during one summer in particular, when I worked as a glacier guide in Alaska. I was spending anywhere from 8 to 12 hours a day up on the ice, and in comparison to the male guides, whose flies allowed them to simply unzip and go whenever, wherever.
Anatomy is sexist. Got it.
I found myself having to trek across the glacier until I could find a spot with enough privacy, carefully avoiding crevasses, completely remove 3 to 4 layers in sub-zero temperatures, do my thing, put it all back on, and hike back. And let me tell you, not only was it not pretty, it was a waste of time, a waste of energy, and it often left me feeling cold for hours after, to the point where I started cutting my water consumption. And by the end of the summer, I was convinced there had to be a better way to go on the go.
Oh, so this is the lead up to a sales pitch. You two have designed, I don't know, hiking pants with a zipper in the back? Or one of those funnel things that allow women to pee from the front? Is that where this is going?
So I set out to see if it was just a me problem or part of a much larger she problem.
Oh, it is just a you problem. Obviously, only your body was designed in such a way as to force you to pee behind a bush. It is not a mechanical reality for all females of the species. You must have had to do a lot of research on this.
And it is a she problem.
Spoiler alert much? Sheesh.
We conducted a survey and found that 1/3 of women had had a bathroom accident outside in the last year. Let me break that down for you.
You're going to break down for me how 1/3 of the women you surveyed had an accident? Maybe this is Pornhub? Seriously, why is this graphic funny?
That means that 1 out of 3 grown women had literally peed their pants outside.
1/3 of the women you surveyed said they had an accident while outside. That means that 1 out of 3 women peed their pants while outside. Do you enjoy saying the same thing twice? Or did you think your audience was just too stupid to get it the first time? And again, why is that graphic funny?
Most told us it was either because they couldn't get their layers off in time or they couldn't find somewhere private to go. And this isn't just women embarking on glacial expeditions. This is also women who rock climb, where we commonly have to take off our harnesses on ledges midway through a climb in order to get our pants down, and then risk getting stuck just to be able to pee and make our bladders gladder.
So, plan ahead and not drink too much beforehand? Or if you have issues with holding it in until you can go to the bathroom, maybe don't rock climb? Look, this is not a scenario you have to sell to women as an inconvenience, whether you're rock climbing or hiking in the woods. It's just a biological reality. So, can you get to the sales pitch already?
In environments and situations like these, Peeing necessitates removing life-saving equipment.
It's also farmhands who spend entire days outside, scientists who spend hours researching in the field, international aid workers living in places without bathrooms, pregnant women with low bladder control, dog walkers, ski instructors, outdoor concert goers, people who use wheelchairs, women on the front lines of our military and police forces. The list goes on and on.
So, women, in general, because it's biomechanically commonplace for women. We get it.
Lots of women also just stop spending time outside altogether because it's too cumbersome and also often too humiliating to have to pull down your pants and expose yourself to anyone who walks by. This is especially true for women who don't already feel confident and comfortable spending time outside.
Okay, this is after I jumped over about a minute of more superfluous hypotheticals and scenarios where it is a horrible burden to be a woman in the great outdoors. Do our speakers have anything else to offer aside from complaints about the realities of the female anatomy?
The outdoors are dominated by a narrative that is primarily white, primarily masculine, and primarily able-bodied.
Excuse me, what? Your problem was that the female body and social taboos force women to have to operate in a complex fashion in order to urinate away from indoor plumbing. Now, the culture of the outdoors is sexist, racist, and ableist. I think you may have taken a wrong turn somewhere in the back 40.
The added difficulty in going to the bathroom adds one more hurdle that makes outdoor accessibility even more difficult.
The outdoors are not difficult to access. You just go out the door. What are you talking about?
When we force half the population to hold in their pee, we're also holding back our ability to have an inclusive outdoor space.
What? Who is forcing you to hold in your pee? And the outdoors is not inclusive because women have to squat to pee? I honestly think I may be losing my mind here.
Charlotte and I have both led and taken part in countless ventures into the wild, where we've witnessed firsthand the many positive effects nature can have in bringing people together, easing their anxieties, and helping them find a confidence in skills and talents they didn't even know they had.
Really? Countless ventures into the wild? But you're women! The outdoors isn't an inclusive space because of all that male, white, able-bodied culture inherent to fresh air and dirt. How can this be?
So, I'm going to let you all in on a not-so-secret little secret. We all pee. Even us. Who knew?
Get to the sales pitch.
As humans, we eat and we excrete. That's just what we do.
And it's totally sexist, racist, and ableist. For women.
And sure, over the course of our lifetimes, we accomplish a few other things here and there. But in the end, it comes down to this. So here's the question. How can we fix the bathroom problem so that people of all anatomies and all identities can push their limits and find connection in the outdoors? How can we design clothing that takes into account a basic human need and levels the playing field for women and other unheard voices in the outdoors?
Okay, are we finally there? This had better be good, ladies, because your preamble has been an absolute slog.
We think the solution begins by rethinking women's outdoor apparel. It's time for an update.
Oh, so that's what women use for outdoor apparel in the 21st century? Golly, I guess you are oppressed. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, those photos, I'm confused.
Early women wore cumbersome woolen skirts while mountaineering because they thought it was too scandalous to wear pants. In fact, women could be jailed for wearing pants in public through the 1940s. And there were anti-cross-dressing laws on the books around the US through the 1970s, when women were finally allowed to wear pants and shorts to schools and universities. Women weren't permitted to wear pants on the Senate floor in the US until 1993.
So just to put that into perspective for you, Whitney Houston's cover of I Will Always Love You had been out for an entire year before women in our national government could wear pants.
Okay, so let me break this down, if it is at all possible. Peeing as a woman outdoors is complicated. The outdoors are only made for men. Women and pants have a complicated legal history. Okay, do I need a map to locate your point in the wilderness of all of these non sequiturs?
And pockets? Don't even get us started on women's pockets.
I have absolutely no desire to get you started on women's pockets. So please do refrain. Honestly, I am beginning to think that our speakers had a 5-minute elevator pitch, but they needed to pad it out in order to qualify for this 12-minute TEDx talk.
Which are still today commonly only half as deep as men's pockets. As though we have less to carry.
Then buy men's pants that fit you. Or buy cargo pants. What does any of this have to do with urination in the woods?
And they're often not even sewn in at all.
Is this vaudeville?
Why?
Because of the white male ableist patriarchy?
Most likely because the fields that require work outside and a lot of labor were commonly barred from women. And also, men have historically done most of the designing of women's apparel, even through now. And men also own most of the stores that sell outdoor apparel and apparel in general. All of this has combined to create the typical shrink it and pink it mentality in women's clothing, where we just make it smaller and tighter and add some feminine colors and then sell it for more money. Even though it's often less functional and less practical.
Oh, Christ. So now we're on to the pink tax. Golly, there is just so much involved with the problem of women going tinkle in the forest.
We think it's time to dismantle this pant patriarchy.
Are you going to do it with a sewing machine by any chance? Because I'm told that that is sexist.
And make pants that are actually designed for our bodies.
So, you're a female fashion designer. Because there are so few of those out there.
For decades, the design of our clothing has suggested that the problem lies in our anatomies.
It does. You just told us that it does.
In comparison to the male guides, whose flies allowed them to simply unzip and go whenever, wherever, I found myself having to trek across the glacier until I could find a spot with enough privacy, carefully avoiding crevasses, completely remove 3 to 4 layers in sub-zero temperatures, do my thing, put it all back on, and hike back.
So, if it is not about anatomy, pray tell, what is it?
In fact, existing market solutions to the age-old problem of women using the bathroom outside currently include messy DIY solutions we will spare you the details of, hiking dresses, which are useless in the cold or when you're wearing a harness, and FUDs, female urination devices.
Yes, we get it. So when are you going to actually tell us about your brilliant solution? You have articulated the problem, such as it is, over and over and over again.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it!
Besides their sanitation and serious overflow issues, trust us, we have read one too many reviews on the subject. They are also literally rubber representations of male genitalia. You can carry around with you on your backpack.
Yes, how terrible a thing to have a reminder of men with you while you're outside. Such pain, such torture. I guess you'll just have to avoid men by going out into the woods? I don't know.
Solutions like these address the symptoms, but they fail to recognize the root cause, the real problem. And the problem is not our anatomy, it's our clothing.
So what does all this mean?
Please, for the love of God, tell us.
The women's outdoor apparel industry is a relatively young one, especially clothing that's actually designed for our comfort and our needs. But outdoor apparel is the fastest growing clothing sector, and we think it's time to harness women's market buying capabilities as well as our design capabilities to rethink pants, redesign them by women and for women.
So, after the ripping and sewing of the crotches of, at this point, literally hundreds of pairs of pants, along with our third co-founder, Bianca, we have developed a flap and zipper layerable system that allows everyone to answer nature's call outside without pulling your pants down, without exposing skin to the elements or to other people.
That's it. A zipper in the back. The very thing I just mused upon way back at the beginning of this thing. Oh, so this is the lead up to a sales pitch. You two have designed, I don't know, hiking pants with a zipper in the back? We waded through all of that unrelated, man-hating, pink-taxing, obsolete legality nonsense just to pitch putting a zipper and flap into hiking pants. An idea that, in all sincerity, I really did just blurt out as I was watching and scripting for this the first time. Well, fine. Great. Best of luck in your business endeavors. You have defeated the sexism of basic female anatomy with a zipper. The zipper. Something invented by men. Well, dang it. I guess no matter how far to the ends of the earth you hike, you'll just never escape that pesky zip patriarchy. As always, thank you for watching.